Stock have too high a price? Buy a slice. Trade fractional shares of your favorite U.S. stocks and ETFs in any dollar amount you choose with zero commissions online. Get started at fidelity.com/stocksbytheslice. Fractional share quantities can be entered to 3 decimal places if the value of the order is at least 1 cent. Dollar-based trades can be entered to 2 decimal places. Sell orders are subject to an activity assessment fee from 1 cent to 3 cents per $1,000 of principal. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC.
Yo.
Oh, yo, holy shit. There he fucking is, dude.
Do we need cam or no?
No, feel free to remove your cam, man. We can keep this super fucking chill.
Welcome.
You are now tuning in. Welcome to the show, everyone. It's Ninja, aka Tyler Blevins, and I'm thrilled to bring you an exciting and intimate audio experience twice a week. No videos, no screens, just good old-fashioned audio radio goodness, like the good old days. But you know, now and new. Part 1. Join us every single week for an in-depth conversation with a remarkable artist, creator, or athlete as they share their inspiring paths to success and their unique interests beyond the spotlight. So gather around the fireplace, grab your gamer hoodie, huddle in close, and turn that dial. You are now tuned in to AFK with Ninja.
AFK with Ninja.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very special guest joining us, a true legend in the world of gaming and content creation. Give him a warm welcome, SypherPK, also known as Ali Hassan. Cypher's a gamer, streamer, YouTuber, entrepreneur, a business owner originally from Tejas, who has amassed a following of over 15 million subscribers across all of his channels. When he's not posting the content on YouTube or streaming Fortnite with me, getting carried, of course. He manages a clothing brand, Metal Umbrella, as well as a studio for digital creators called Oni Studios. He's hilarious, motivational, a family man, and an all-around icon of the Fortnite, Twitch, and gaming YouTube space. Cypher, welcome, dude.
I'm gassed up, man. I appreciate that. That's a lot.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
I know I did all that.
Whenever I've been like introduced on podcasts or like, you know, TV or whatever, like they always list accolades that I completely forgot about. Life being a total blur.
Yeah, that's how it is for us.
I mean, yeah, we've been doing this literally. I mean, you were on the Fortnite train. Do you remember? Was it before me or was it during?
I want to say it's during. So Fortnite came out like late September 2017. I was on there like first week of October. So like not too long after it came out.
I think I was still messing almost with PUBG a little bit. Because I remember I dabbled in it. I played it literally one day because everyone was like, play it. I was like, fine, I'll give it a shot. Played it. And it was too random for me still. There was still no first shot accuracy. That came later. Mm-hmm. But the Scar was like the only good gun. And even all the blooms were terrible. Even if you had a gold Scar, right?
Yeah.
Headshots were 98 damage. Just absolutely crazy.
I actually quit Fortnite in the first week I played it.
I feel like a lot of people did.
Yeah, I played it for like a day, early October. I was like, this building stuff's weird. The gunplay is weird. And then I came back a few weeks later because people were like urging me to change my building keybinds and actually give it a chance. And then at the time I was playing Elder Scrolls Online and For Honor, not battle royales, completely different genre. I got a message from one of my mods and he was like, you had to try out this game called Fortnite, new battle royale. Listen, I know it's cartoony. It's not your style, but like, just give it a try. And then I tried it, didn't like it. My viewers were really low when I was playing Fortnite too. Like I would just drop all my viewers. And I was like, man, I'm not doing this.
I remember my first time watching your stream, Cypher.
Oh yeah, what was I doing?
I think it was like season 2, maybe. It still might have even been season 1. I'm not sure. I think you're like 1,000 viewers. And I tuned into your stream for the first time and you are responding to somebody in your chat who asked you something along the lines of, hey man, any advice for like a streamer looking to switch to Fortnite? You know, something blah, blah, blah. Basically just asking for advice to streaming. And you were on your rant about how you started from Elder Scrolls, like literally what we kind of just opened this podcast up with. You were talking about Elder Scrolls Online and how you switched over and people didn't like it, but you just stuck with it and consistency, blah, blah, blah. So this is still like infant Cypher, dude. It's still a little baby Cypher. I don't even think you had your 19th YouTube channel yet.
No, I was still on just one channel at that point. I was always giving advice and trying to share my experience. and just help people learn how to play the game and how to navigate streaming in a way. So, because I wasn't the guy fragging out and dropping win after win like Myth, or fragging out like you and trapping people with the Zapatrons. I kind of had my own thing with the educational videos, and then I guess the Trap Tower as well. It was a mix of both.
Yeah, dude. You created the sensational Trap Tower. Now, I'm not even going to try to explain it. Please explain to us, what is the Trap Tower? What inspired you to make the Trap Tower? Was it random? Was it a suggestion in the chat from a random viewer? Or did your little evil mastermind come up with this randomly?
I am an evil mastermind when it comes to things like this.
I know you are.
Yeah. So here's actually what happened. So first of all, the Trap Tower requires the Launchpad. So before the Launchpad was added into the game, they would add things like the Impulse Snade and other items. And especially back then, whenever Fortnite added a new item or weapon, it was like a race between all the content creators and YouTubers to get like a crazy clip with that item.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember seeing Impulse Nade plays that were crazy, going viral on Twitter, going viral on YouTube. I missed out on a lot of those initial items going viral. And even if I did hit a decent clip at the time, I didn't have the necessary audience to spread it out like crazy, right?
Yeah.
So the Launchpad came out, and it was a mobility item, and you could launch, but no one really posted any clips with the item. It wasn't meant to kill people.
Right.
It was meant to launch around the map. And I'm thinking, there's got to be something here that people are missing. Like, what can I do with the Launchpad? And initially, my idea was to make a Launchpad and make it in a way where like it would launch you up, and then it would cancel your launch at the top with like a ramp and a floor, and maybe they would fall to their death. I was trying to experiment with that, but it wasn't really working. They would keep their fall damage immunity, so they wouldn't actually take fall damage. And I'm like, oh man, like there's got to be something else. So then I thought of the Trap Tower. I'm like, okay, so when they launch, they're forced into this animation. What can I do while they're flying up like that and they can't really do much? Traps. So I made the Trap Tower, tested it. It was too short because they would launch, they would hit the roof of the box and fall down before the traps. And I'm like, I need to make the traps high enough to where it's right at the peak of their jump, where they're kind of just like suspended in midair for a little bit, long enough for the traps to go off and spike them. And I spent all day farming lobbies where the last player, I was hoping they were like
trash,
not great.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of players like that back then.
Absolutely.
Most players were defaults running around lost. So I managed to pull off the clip. I posted the initial one, and it didn't actually do really well because it just wasn't the right angle. Like I didn't capture it in a cool way.
I don't even think they had replays at the time.
Yeah,
right?
There was no replay mode. So whatever I saw on my screen was what I had to post.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't a satisfying clip. So I added an extra part to the Trap Tower just for this purpose.
I remember.
I added a little cubby where I did a floor piece, and then I would edit the three sides, or it's just one side. And then I would sit in the Trap Tower so I could look down at the launch pad and the loot that I had set up down there. And then if someone hops on the launch pad, they get launched up into the spikes, and I get to see it all, like from that seat that I created.
From your little spectator.
When I hit that clip, then it went viral. And the best part is it didn't go viral on my channels. I tweeted it, and I made a clip, and I made a video of it, which severely underperformed. But then people like BCC Trolling and a bunch of Fortnite clip channels and Facebook pages, they all tweeted it and posted it, and it went viral on their pages. They gave me credit, and that credit went a long way because my next stream, I went from 100 viewers on Fortnite to 300, and I kept that for the whole week, and I was able to kind of snowball off of that momentum.
That was such a great observation about you, by the way, about like when new items would drop, it really was a race for content creators like myself, Daquan Hamlin's, Myth, Summit, I feel like at the time too, definitely CDN, who could get the best clip, right? And who could get a good clip worth tweeting.
It's important to note that this was back when if you were a small content creator, there were no algorithms out there to push your content to go viral. Like you had to have the audience and the subscriber count to actually have viral moments. Nowadays, like you have YouTube Shorts, you have TikTok, you have IG Reels, where if you create an interesting, unique piece of content that's meant to go viral, it's very likely that it still will go viral, even if you don't have the follower count to back it up. Things are a little bit different now, but back then it's like I posted that clip everywhere.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I didn't have the audience. Then the people who had the audience posted it and gave credit, and that's when I benefited. The Trap Tower took off. It became my thing, and eventually it just
Snowball, man.
Epic added it as an item for the tournament, and then it also became a toy. Epic contracted this toy company, and there's a trap tower toy. You can build the trap tower, and it has the launch pad. It has the arches that I made. What's crazy is like they have the arches on the toy for the trap tower, and it's like that was just an artistic choice that I made of just having the arches to kind of make them look more appealing.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to jump on that launch pad, dude, with those beautiful little arches like all around on every side, man? What was your first game when you were young that you got hooked on?
It had to be RuneScape.
RuneScape?
Yeah, RuneScape.
All right. Okay.
I had a PlayStation and I had a couple games on there, but at the time I would just play games casually, and I was still like a little kid that liked to go into the backyard and play with mud and like fight my brothers and play wrestle. Like it was very much an active kid. But then I had detention one time in school.
Oof.
Don't remember what I did, but I was innocent.
Jay, listen, bro. I was always getting into trouble.
And during detention, there was an older student his job was to just watch over us, make sure that we were doing our homework or just sitting in silence. But he was a bit chill, and he was on the teacher's computer playing RuneScape. So I like came up to him and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he was playing this game. And at the time, this was like 2004, I did not know multiplayer games existed.
Oh,
it was
man.
not even in my conscious. So I'm looking at this guy. He has this character and he's walking around, and I see other characters walking around. And in my mind, I'm like, those aren't NPCs. Those are other people. Like they're moving like other people. I see little text bubbles above their name. And I'm like, are those real people that you're playing with? And he's like, yeah, RuneScape is an MMO. It's a massive multiplayer online game. And I'm like, I don't know what that is.
What does it even mean?
And I looked at the URL and I just had to remember it. I didn't have like a piece of paper or anything to write it down.
Oh my God. In detention, don't even have paper.
Yeah.
Jesus, you really were just a bad kid, huh?
I know. But it was like run, escape. And I could remember that because RuneScape, I'm going to forget it. But I'm like, run is the first part and then escape.com. And I went home, made an account. And I had to like sneak on the computer. I wasn't allowed to be on the computer during school days. I made an account. My brothers were all watching me. They're like, "What's going on? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Guys, this is a new game. It's crazy." I made an account. They all made an account too. And like we customized a character, and the rest was history. I got hooked on online games and PC gaming at that moment. And that eventually led me to find YouTubers who were covering RuneScape and streamers. And then I followed that path as well.
That is crazy, man. I remember I was in Arizona. So we were visiting my grandparents, and my cousin, who at the time he like worked for Best Buy, bro. You know, he knew all about wiring and how to like get the Ethernet cable from one side of the house to the other without it running all over the place. He was like techie, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I was late to the party that they were having. My brothers were already there. My parents, everyone was there. But I stayed home to like play on my Game Boy and then to go with my grandparents. So a couple hours later, they finally decided, all right, we're going now. So they took me there. First thing I do when I walk in, I'm just like, "Hey, where's everyone?" And my mom's just like, "Oh, they're in Eric's room." I'm like, okay. So I walk over to Eric's room, dude. The door's shut, and I can see like a glow underneath the door. It was like colors, like multicolors. I like opened up the door, and it's pitch black. All the lights are off, but you just see like 4 TVs glowing and different color lights above it. Like his room was just so freaking cool. And this is when Halo 2 was out, and I'm watching, dude, and I could just tell instantly that it wasn't a LAN. I don't know how I did, but I was like, something's different. Like this isn't like something's different, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "What are you guys doing?" You know, just the annoying little cousin coming in. "What are you guys doing?"
How old were you at the time?
I think, dude, 11, 12, young and annoying. And Eric is just like, "We're playing Xbox Live, Halo 2, dude." And then my older brothers, John and Chris, are like, "Yeah, dude, get out of here, bro. These are real players. You're too shitty, man. You wouldn't be able to beat them or whatever." And they literally kicked me out of the room.
That's classic.
I was so triggered, bro. I got home. I did chores for like 2 weeks straight to get like a couple $100 to get an Xbox. and then an Xbox Live membership, and then Halo 2. And that was it.
What's cool is that I started on RuneScape and I stayed with that game up until Halo 3. And Halo 3 is when I first started playing Halo, and I got the Xbox 360, got the live membership, and like got really hooked on the Halo franchise.
Was that your first FPS?
That was my first FPS. Yep. And funny enough, I had no experience with FPS. That when I hopped on, I was like, this doesn't look like the trailers, because in the trailers, I can see the whole Spartan. Right now, I'm zoomed in.
Yeah.
So I would just grab the turret, because when you grab the turret in Halo 3, you're not in first person anymore.
Oh my God.
I would grab the turret and walk around with the turret until I eventually started getting used to first person mode.
No. Dude, that's actually hilarious, dude. Those were simpler times, man. I remember I was making deals with my parents left and right. You know, first off, I had to get A's, B's, and C's.
Yeah.
If I anything lower than a C minus or something like that, I was pretty much grounded until I got it back up.
Yeah, there was a lot of deals that were made. Report card based deals were very common in my household.
Yeah, man. Dude, 100%. And listen, man, parents out there, anyone with kids, don't think of gaming as this horrible thing that's happening to your child. First off, number one, they're in your house. There's no safer space in the world than being in their room playing video games, as long as you're monitoring what they're doing up there. And number two, you can use it to your advantage. I mean, my mom made me do more chores around the house. I had to be more active outside so that I could play more inside. And this is when I was young, right? That was when I was like 7 to 12. And I was willing to do all of those things to game, to keep gaming as much as I wanted to, which, made me more well-rounded, right?
Yeah, there needs to be a balance for sure. I was same thing. I had to maintain certain grades. I was also playing basketball, varsity in high school as well. My parents were like, they were always like, gaming is just gaming. And as long as you have good grades and you're maintaining your basketball practice and whatever, like you can game. Only on the weekends though.
You could only play on the weekends?
Yeah, I could only play on the weekends. That that didn't stop us.
Right. You could only, in quotations, play on the weekend.
Exactly. But we were playing as long as we could get away with it.
Yes.
Shortly after my brothers stopped making videos with me, that was like a year or two before Elder Scrolls Online came out. Probably like a year, actually. So it was actually a good timing. And I was talking to my parents, I'm like, guys, I kind of want to not go to college for a year and just really focus on this game and streaming and try to make it a career. They said no.
Oof.
And then the next year is about to start. And I'm like, guys, I really do not want to go to college. I'm about to get partnered on Twitch. I have 10,000 or 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. Let me just focus on this for a year. And if it doesn't work out, I'll go back.
Okay.
Then they were like, okay, if you make this much in subscriber revenue and you hit these goals, we'll consider it. We'll let it happen. So I spent that whole summer, I got partnered, and my goal was to get 500 subscribers. And that was a lot.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Especially back then, because there's no Twitch Prime.
No gifteds.
No gifted. It was just people pulling out their credit card and subscribing. And those subs were very strong subs in the sense that when someone subscribed, it usually wasn't for just 1 month. Like they were subscribing and they were auto-renewing.
They were dedicated.
Yeah.
Dedicated subs.
So I hit the 500 subs and I'm now making some serious money as a college student. And I told my parents, all right, so I'm going to not sign up for classes next semester. I'm going to just continue doing this and see where it goes. They were like, no shot. You're going to have to sign up for classes. This is just a fluke. It's going to fade. And maybe they were right, but they didn't give me the chance.
So they immediately backtracked on their deal.
They backtracked on the deal.
That's toxic, bro.
Yeah. I guess they didn't expect me to hit those numbers or whatever. I ended up doing something dramatic and drastic. I was 18. And then one day I packed all my clothes in a trash bag and I put my computer in like a little box and I threw it in the back of my car. And in the middle of the day, without anybody noticing, I just hopped in the car and drove to a hotel.
Did you even know like the hotel you were going to? Like, did you
I had
research
looked it up ahead of time and checked for availability, and then I went.
Dude,
in
hotels
there.
are expensive, man. How much was it a night? Do you remember?
It was like 100 something a night. It wasn't like a super fancy hotel, one of those like smaller ones. It might have been a motel. It was like some micro thing. Oh yeah, I checked that they had internet too because like I wanted to. Get some streams and while I was there, so I went, and it's so sad because like as soon as I left, like before I even got to the hotel, I got a phone call from my mom. She called me and she was like, where are you going? And I said, I'm just going to Chick-fil-A.
Oh no, not Chick-fil-A, dude.
And she's like, okay, well, your brothers want some food too. And I'm like, okay, what do they want? And she like gave me their orders, but she gave me the wrong orders. Like I know what my brothers get, from Chick-fil-A, and she was just making up random stuff.
Wow.
And I knew at that moment, I knew that she had walked into my room and saw that it was mainly empty. My computer was gone and my clothes were missing. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. I know that my brothers don't want Chick-fil-A. I know you're just trying to get me to come back, but I have to do this. Please don't call me. I need to figure this out. So turned my phone off, got to the hotel, booked for a couple days. And I'm like, it should take me a couple days to find an apartment. Cause I'm like, I'm going to get an apartment nearby and I'm going to start streaming from that apartment. And like, I'm going to be an independent adult. At the time I was 18.
Dude.
No apartment would take me. They would not accept my form of payment. They didn't know what PayPal was. They didn't know what Twitch was. They didn't know anything about that. And I had this one realtor. He believed in me and he was trying to help me out. He knew about Twitch and YouTube. He just didn't know about me, but he knew it was legit. After like 10 apartment visits, on the 11th one, he talked to the lady who was in charge of the apartments. He's like, listen, you know me. I've brought a lot of people to you. This guy's legit. You might not know what Twitch and YouTube is, but this guy, he's going to be a star. Like he is a star. He's going to be a bigger star. He was just capping so hard.
That's incredible. This guy's an agent, dude. He's pitching you. This guy's going to be a star. You got to believe me.
And then they gave me the apartment. I had to make a huge security deposit first and last month and everything. I did a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah, I did that too as well. That's awesome.
And then I started streaming and slowly rebuilt the relationship with my parents as they saw me like be independent. They were gaining that respect because they thought that maybe I was still a kid chasing an imaginary dream, but they saw me take it seriously. I had an actual schedule. I had branding and community, and they were following and keeping track. Obviously, I'm their son, and they wanted me to succeed. They were just worried I wasn't going to, and that I was throwing my life away. After a couple of years, things got a lot better, and then Fortnite came out and I really blew up. And then at that point, they stopped even suggesting that I ever return to college.
Oh, for sure, dude. Yes, sir. Of course, dude. Once the check started coming in, dude.
Exactly. When I paid off their house, then they were like, you know what, Junior, why don't you put up the stream?
Exactly.
They started encouraging my brothers to stream as well.
That's incredible, dude.
We're going AFK with Ninja. What's he gonna say?
I don't think you understand how similar our parents were in that sense. Like, I guess I kind of almost did the exact same thing. Now that I think about it, just it was a little bit older. I think I was like 21. So you did your stuff when you were 18. I moved out when I was 21. I was still living with my parents. I was paying rent. This time I was streaming full time in their basement. Classic, just dungeon nerd, right?
Yeah.
In my parents' basement, playing Halo and streaming every day. So started making some decent money, like 10, 20, 30 subs. I was like freaking out to my mom. I was like, Mom, if I make this much money, can I stream full time? Like, can I stop going to college and stream full time? And she said, yes. So then the money came and I showed her the check and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, well, go cash it. It might not be real.
It might not be real. That's crazy.
So I go and I cash it immediately. I literally cashed it. Didn't go into my account. I wanted to cash it. I came back to show my mom and I was like, I'm dropping out of college. And she's like, if you can keep making this money, you can drop out of college. I also had to make a deal with her. And I made the same deal with my wife. If I ever stop making minimum wage, that was like the cutoff. If I ever somehow make less than that, I will go back to college. And there was a time where I actually did that, dude, where it was like going downhill. It was during Destiny. I was popping off. I had the most viewers I've ever had in my entire life. I was averaging like 4,000 viewers during the Destiny alpha and beta. I was already known as like one of the best PvPers. I was uploading crazy viral clips that were viral to me at the time. And then I had my detached retina, dude.
Oh, yeah.
The surgery was the day Destiny came out.
That is unfortunate timing.
The recovery time was a month of me staring at the ground so that the gas bubble in my eye would push my retina back up to my retinal wall so that it would stick there and not like redetach.
Wow.
So I literally couldn't play video games for a month. So I come back, I'm averaging like 200 to 300 viewers.
That's crazy.
I obviously lost all of my subscribers, right? Because at this time, again, still wasn't Gifted. There wasn't Prime. I don't think there was Prime at least. So I immediately enrolled back into college and took like online classes and some real classes for like 6 months.
I mean, that must have been very demotivating as well.
Dude, I was doing Kickstarters with Jess. She was like a promotional model, and I did like a NOS Kickstarter with her where we would just travel around the Midwest and sell NOS at random festivities. One was like downtown Milwaukee. Another one was at like a snow resort somewhere in Wisconsin, like a skiing resort. We froze our asses off.
Jeez.
Dude, ridiculous. And I think I just was like, screw it. I'll just get back into competitive Halo. And I started doing that again, switching to Halo, and I got my viewers back up and I started making more money again. Then I was like, fuck this shit. And I stopped immediately. Oh, and the final thing, this was when I was 21. I was with my brother downstairs, and we're not supposed to eat. Just like you weren't supposed to play video games on the weekdays, we weren't supposed to have food in the basement. But we ate down there all the time.
Yeah.
And my dad came downstairs one day, and we just happened to have spilled minutes before he came down, and he was in a bad mood and lost his shit. And after that little mini freak out, my brother looked at me and he goes, "Do you want to just get an apartment together?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then the next day we had an appointment to go and see an apartment.
And honestly, like sometimes that separation is important for like your own development and for you to feel the pressure of having to perform and build something up for yourself. Because you can get comfortable when you're living with your parents, depending on especially how much they baby you and how much they're supporting and stepping away. Like I feel like I developed a lot as a person when I got my own place and really had to like fend for myself for a little bit.
So this is more of like a me question to you because I'm on my fitness journey right now. I mean, I've been on Twitch for a long time. I've watched a lot of like big streamers, and you were definitely big and still are. But at the time of your transformation, was there like a defining moment where you were just like, holy shit, I need to get in the gym or I need to start losing some weight? Or was it something that you just were always aware of and then you finally just pulled the trigger? I mean, just take me on that journey, man, because I'm sitting here hungover trying to fucking convince myself to go after this recording. So I need some motivation, dude.
Yeah. So like I put on a lot of weight after I got married, and I put on even more weight when Fortnite blew up because I was streaming like 14 hours a day. I was ordering food 3 times a day. It was bad.
What was your max weight? Do you remember?
Yeah, 265 pounds.
And you're 6'5", right? Though,
Yeah.
So like,
I carried it well.
yeah, you carried it well.
I tried to lose weight, like a few tries. I would go crazy in the gym, cut down on my food, eat super healthy, and then I would just burn out, fail, gain the weight back. And I was just like, I can't do this.
Oh, no.
And I was approaching weight loss the way I was approaching Fortnite and my stream because I was grinding Fortnite. I was on Fortnite 10, 12 hours a day. I was streaming 10, 12 hours a day. I was
relatable.
So I was trying to take it the same way. And I'm like, I'm just going to go all in, heavy, heavy, heavy. And that was not the right approach. It wasn't until I took a more balanced approach to weight loss and really took my time, paced myself well, and was willing to be patient with the results. That's when I started consistently losing weight every single week and tracking the progress well. And I ended up losing almost 80 pounds.
80 pounds, man. Jeez.
I went from 265 to like 188. And since then, I've been doing bulks and cuts where I'll go up to 220, 230, and then cut down. And I'm looking forward to seeing how I look in the next 4 or 5 months once I'm done cutting down.
I mean, yeah, keep sending those pics, man. You know what I mean? Dude? Keep sending those because when you sent me the pic of before your photo shoot or your little video shoot of your skin release, man. Yeah.
Motivation.
Oh, my hell yeah, bro, dude. That's what I'm talking about, man. I have 3 dogs. I know you have a bunch of dogs. Whose idea were the dogs, right? I'm assuming, I mean, gun to my head, I'd say it was Daniela. Am I right?
No, I've always wanted a dog. My parents did not want dogs in the house. They were cool with rabbits, fish, things like that, but they did not want dogs in the house. I've always wanted one. So once we moved in together, we ended up getting our first dog together. His name was Aegon. But then the second and third dog, the second one, it was like a joint decision. We wanted another dog for our first dog to play with and grow up with. And the third one was kind of like Daniela. Someone needed help rehoming a dog. And
dude,
we're like, we'll foster her for a little bit, but we ended up keeping her. So
when I tell you, dude, we are literally the same person and like same with our wives. It is unbelievable.
It's time for this or that. This or that. You have to choose this or that. AFK.
All right, bro. This or that. Here we go. Are you ready? First one, basketball or football?
Basketball. I mean, I'm 6'5". I got to use that height.
Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, or San Antonio Spurs?
San Antonio Spurs. They're my team. They've been my team for a long time.
And you're not hopping on the bandwagon. I like that.
No. And they got the number 1 pick in the draft this year, but that's not, I mean, I've been with them from the beginning.
Console or PC gaming?
Man, there's something special about console gaming. Man, like I know the capabilities of PC, but like there's just something special about just hopping on a console and not having to worry about settings and all the extra stuff that goes into a PC and just playing a game the way it's meant to be played.
Oh my God, are you going to say it?
I'm going to have to go with console.
Oh my God, he's an aim assist warrior. I knew it. I always knew it, man. No, I've been enjoying the absolute heck out of Final Fantasy 16 right now on the PS5. And like, I absolutely agree. It's almost like a disconnect.
Yeah.
Where you just feel isolated in a good way when you're going through like little solo playthroughs. Leg day or arm day or chest day?
I love chest day the most, and I absolutely hate leg day, but I gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
I always get lightheaded. I always feel really exhausted. It takes me a lot longer to recover from leg days, but I enjoy chest days.
Esports or sports?
It's just sports.
Yep.
I think esports still has a long way to go. I think we're learning a lot. I think a lot of people are taking L's, but those L's are important. I think everybody has to take L's before they get the big W's. And esports in general, they're learning what they are and what they're not. For a while, they were trying to force themselves to be just like traditional sports, but it's not traditional sports, and it doesn't need to be successful. So
great answer, man. Jordans or Dunks?
Jordans.
Okay. Cats or dogs? This is a tough one for you, dude.
Oh, that is tough. Okay. I'm gonna go.
There's only one right answer.
Oh man. No, this is really tough. Okay.
Gun to your head, bro. You can only have one.
Okay, no, if I can only have one, I'm going with the dogs.
All right, there it is. So we have our answer.
All 3 of my dogs love me no matter what. They will protect me no matter what, I hope. Unconditional. Cats' loves are conditional.
Yep, agreed, dude. You have to feed them.
I've had to earn the love of the cats. The dogs love me no matter what.
Good answer, dude. Believe it or not, out of all these, that was the only right answer where there was an actual. Okay, hot Cheetos or Takis?
Hot Cheetos.
I respect
I like
it, dude.
Takis. It's just like,
hey, listen, Takis are intense.
Yeah. They're seriously
intense.
I can eat a whole bag of hot Cheetos. I love Takis, but I usually don't eat the whole bag. I'll eat some, save it for later.
Okay.
The hot Cheetos, I can just binge it.
You're absolutely right. Fortnite build or no build?
Man, after they added the central servers,
yeah,
and I have 0 ping now.
I know what you're gonna say.
It's got to be build.
You're a build boy. It's okay.
And I will say this: if you've never played build on 0 ping for an extended period of time, you haven't been actually playing build. Build mode, unfortunately, for anyone out there, was designed to be played on 0 to 15 ping. Anything above that, you're playing a different subversion of the game that sometimes is not enjoyable.
Agreed, which is why I don't play it.
Yep.
Streaming or YouTube videos?
I like streaming. So obviously my YouTube is a lot more lucrative than my streams.
For sure.
A lot of channels. It's less time invested. I'm able to record a lot of content in one go and post it on a bunch of different platforms. But connecting with a live audience is something that cannot be topped. Even a good YouTube video that gets a lot of great comments is never the same as hitting a cool clip live and seeing people live react to something you just did.
Takeout or home cooked meal?
Is my wife watching?
No.
No. I love a good home cooked meal. I love a good home cooked meal for sure.
Family time or alone time?
Family time.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Date night out or date night in?
No, date night out. When we can convince ourselves to actually leave the house, we don't ever regret it. It's hard to leave the house. We're homebodies, but
yeah, also 3 dogs.
I'm in the house all the time and everything. Sometimes I need to change the pace, and I do appreciate when we go out and have like a nice steak dinner or see a movie together. It's the best.
Love that, man. What is your best cheat meal, dude? You're just vibing.
A steakhouse. And people might think like a steak is not really a cheat meal, but no, like I'll get every side: mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, corn brulee. I'll get some apps.
Did you say corn brulee or creme brulee?
No, corn brulee. It's like a thing they're doing now in some steakhouses. They'll do creamed corn, but they'll crystallize the top of the creamed corn similar to what they do with creme brulee, and they call it corn brulee. It's really good. If you haven't tried it, you have to try it.
Okay, I'll have to try it. Okay, best healthy meal to follow that up.
I like cauliflower pizza.
Love cauliflower pizza.
Yeah, it tastes like normal pizza, and even the cauliflower crust, if it's well made, it's amazing.
All right, man. This one might be the most important to you. Best anime.
For me, so far, from the animes I've seen, Attack on Titan. My favorite anime, Naruto.
I already knew. Of course.
I grew up watching it. It was a big part of my childhood and early adulthood. I understand the story has flaws and it has a lot of filler episodes, which is why I'm giving best to Attack on Titan.
If you could bring back one game from your childhood for a reboot/revamp, what game would that be?
It's got to be Guns the Duel. It was this insane movement-based arena shooter where they had swords and guns. You could block bullets with the swords. You could dash to the sky.
I've seen you play that.
Yeah. It was a private server that I hopped on. And I think Daquan was also a huge fan of it.
Daquan, dude, that's who played it. Okay. Mm-hmm. When he came back from one of his breaks and he didn't want to play Fortnite, he played that game. If you could make a game, any game, into a movie or series, what game would you choose?
I really want to see a Fortnite movie.
Yes, dude, same.
Especially because Fortnite has these IP collaborations. They could pull from a lot of different DC, Marvel, anime.
It could almost be like Free Guy in terms of like the amount of cameos.
Yeah. I could see a Free Guy styled movie around the story of Jonesy and all the different IP that can be in it. It would just go crazy.
It would.
Like a lot of fan service, but Fortnite could have a decent story.
What was your first screen name ever?
Ollie Master 3. And for the record, the username Ollie Master was available. I put the 3 because I thought that's what people were doing. I thought the numbers meant something, so I just put the 3 in there.
Oh my God. You're adorable, dude. You know what's funny? My 9-year-old nephew, I was showing him Final Fantasy 11 and he was like, "Why is your name Shu Yin? Why wouldn't you make it Tyler?" And I was like, "Well, it's like a fantasy world, right? I don't want to just go by my real name. That's weird. It can be anything." You could, so I made it this. This is one of my favorite antagonists from a video game. And he goes, "I would make my username Butthole."
Thankfully, we're not stuck forever with our first usernames.
That dude. It was really original for that one. The mind of a 9-year-old. All right, to my favorite question I love to ask people, man. This one is a banger. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your phone, which ones would you keep? What are the 3 apps on your phone that you can't go without? And this isn't like FaceTime or messages or Gmail.
I'm keeping Spotify. I need the music for the gyms, the workouts, the runs, and everything.
Absolutely. It's a must.
I mean, YouTube and Twitch, like...
Twitch on your phone, though? Like,
no, I don't need Twitch on my phone. You're right. You're right.
There you go.
And I honestly don't need YouTube on my phone either.
All right. There we go. Okay. I just saved you 2 apps.
You're right. So we're going to go Twitter. Even though there's like a lot of weird decisions being made, I'm still going to go with Twitter and TikTok.
Yes, sir.
They know how to feed me the right content. The thing is, I can't even kill that much time on my phone because I'm usually live or recording content anyway. So I'm being productive. So whenever I get like a little bit of downtime, it's nice to scroll through Twitter and TikTok.
And then the final question, dude. Define AFK. And what do you do when you're AFK? You can give a literal definition or you can go philosophical on it if you want.
Define it. Okay. I mean, like, obviously away from keyboard.
Yes, sir. How old were you when you first saw that term?
It was in RuneScape, and it took me like a year or 2 to actually know what it meant because I didn't ask.
Same, by the way.
A lot of those acronyms and like word abbreviations, I did not. Rolling on floor laughing, raffle. Like I didn't know what it meant. I just thought it was something people said, and I would say it too until I eventually found out what it actually stood for. But yeah, I was really young when I figured it out, and then I started AFKing. I'm like, all right, guys, AFK. I got to use the restroom. Got to grab some hot Cheetos. I'll be right back.
Naturally, dude. And then so AFK away from keyboard. What do you do when you're AFK, Syph?
I'm using the restroom.
Okay. I mean, all right. So we're going literal. We're going actual literal.
Okay. Like when I'm disconnected.
Yeah, there you go, dude. There you go.
You know, sometimes I'll just
make another YouTube channel.
No. I'll just think of scenarios where I fight off a bunch of bad guys and come out on top. You know,
yes, dude.
Hero of the day. Everyone's done it.
Everyone's done it, bro. Me like stopping somebody coming in the room and like saving the freaking day. Absolutely.
And just like manifesting about things that I want in my life, thinking about how to approach it. I mean, here's the thing. The moments that I've had, I've thought a lot about them before they happened. A lot of times when I'm AFK, I'm just kind of like daydreaming. And I like daydreaming and thinking good things and happy things and succeeding in things because I feel like that actually has an impact. I feel like that actually can push you in the right direction sometimes when you truly believe and think about good things happening to you.
I could not agree more. I think manifestation is super important, whether it be you writing it down on a board and stare at it every single day when you wake up, or it's something that you're constantly envisioning and constantly thinking about. And that's awesome, dude. That's a great answer, man. I thought you were going to stick with the you go to the bathroom.
No, I got you.
Dude, Syph, man, thank you so much for coming. Do you have any projects, anything you want to tease about, dude? Anything you're excited about coming up, man, that you can?
Right now, the team is working really hard on Fortnite Creative. We're also prepping for our own project, Project V, FN. I think we're learning a lot with some of the smaller maps that we're releasing. I'm super excited for the landscape of Fortnite and Creative, especially over the next few years. So we get more tools. Really looking forward to that.
Dude, I am as well, man. Sypher, thank you so much for coming, bro. I appreciate it. All right, everyone. That'll do it for the first episode of AFK. We're definitely just getting started. So buckle up for a wild ride because the madness is far from over. I'll be back twice a week, every week, forever. Remember, one episode a week, I'll be kicking back with some incredible guests for insane stories, behind-the-scenes exclusives, and maybe even a few epic game fails. And every second episode a week, you can join me, myself, and I in the solo episodes. We'll unravel the mysteries of the day to life on this insane planet. From gaming to what's trending in movies, memes, music, and more. We'll navigate this digital jungle together. Be sure to subscribe. Catch us on all of the podcast platforms. That includes, but it's not limited to, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods.
Well, the game was played and the match was won. We all saw how it went, but who was that man that played it so well? He had his dogs on a dusty road, and he turned around, I saw his face. His name was Ninja. His name was Ninja. AFK, AFK, AFK with Ninja. AFK, AFK, AFK with Ninja. AFK with Ninja. With a ninja, he's a guy who plays video games on the internet.